Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. Antonio, we are the MCU collective. Daredevil, episode number 8, Isle of Joy. All spoilers. I really mean it. This,
I saw the comment on Threads. It was like, oh man. It's like, tell me turn it off as soon as you said
I'm like,
spoilers.
dog, like I gave you a warning too. I'm not being like, yo, people being like, okay, I can't lie. When I first started doing this, I was reckless with the spoilers, but now I try to be way more kind about it.
Yeah.
It's called grip, guys. Daredevil got shot in the episode, so I really want to start there and kind of work our way back. So I
Mhm.
just want to say that Daredevil, I'm sorry, Matt Murdock, because he wasn't Daredevil this episode.
Mhm.
One Matthew Murdock
Crashed out.
was
Crashing
the
out.
reason for his own demise.
Yeah.
And the theme of this episode to me is like unintended consequences.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes when you try to do one thing, and even if you think you're right and you get results, another thing will happen because of said response or lack thereof. And he legitimately set our boy Dex on a path because, like you said 20 seconds ago, Matt was an all time crash out highs this episode.
Yes.
I like that he was so not he just wasn't he wasn't locked in at all.
At all.
Aside from
Something in my eye. What
no,
the
you good. Aside from his girl
heck?
trying to figure out what is going on with him,
Mm-hmm.
she being kind of activated herself because she was like, yo, which was a really that's like the only turn I didn't really like. Like, oh, I understand because when I was there, I shot him. Like it was me. And
Yo,
because and I
can
like
I
it.
say something real quick?
Go ahead.
The unmitigated gall and the boldness. Like I sh I strive for that audacity.
Yo, she was
That
like,
audacity for her.
I'm the one who killed
When he was like, yo, Daredevil was here, he was like, oh, they was just working things out. I'm the one that killed Muse. I beg your pardon, ma'am. I give you credit. Yes, you did. You shot that man while he was in the middle of a fight and was distracted and won't paying you no mind because you was literally what 30 seconds later bleeding to death. But you acting like you acting like when he came there, took off, put on his mask, it was like, yeah, I'm used and stuff. He was like, oh, really? Bop, 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 bop.
like you'd have thought like she was a trained assassin. Like, girl, you are not a lecturer.
Right.
Like calm down, yo. Like
He acting like she was ox and belly. I'm the original Dundada.
you want war with me?
You
Nah,
want
not
war with me?
nah, not at all, yo. Like
Not at
sit
all.
down, man. You're a therapist. My wife a therapist. She can't shoot no gun for real. Get out of here, yo. Y'all have like the get out. All right, don't talk to me. Anyway, the fact that she went like now she's on this like kind of very comic booky path, like turn, almost heel turns, so to speak. Wrestling terms, guys. So I like her like yeah, that whole thing to me was like, oh, this is odd. But other than that,
As the grandparents used to say, she was smelling herself.
definitely like she
Smelling herself.
yo Matt was like, man, you call one body, now you John
Yeah.
Gotti. Get out of here, yo. Like don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about somebody breaking some necks, yo. Like I'm about that life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the funny
Uh-huh.
part. And the fact that he was like, are you for real? Like, really? Like, should I just tell you who I am to get this over with? Because I feel really disrespected right now. And I can't
Right.
even say nothing about this.
Right. You are really emboldened to act like Daredevil, who is moi, didn't save your ass, lady.
Like, bro, I was there, yo. I know what really happened, yo.
Right. I was with you shooting in the gym. And you missed all the shots, baby.
Who was getting his rebounds for you? Me.
Yeah. Right.
Passing the ball back to
Rodman,
you.
baby. Get out of here.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
like that was
goodness.
like that part was just hilarious to me.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be interesting to see like how her storyline goes for the next episode or whatever.
Yeah.
But Unintended Consequences, man. Like that is really like how I saw the episode and how I was viewing it as So okay. So Matt went to the jail and he's talking to Dex and Dex is like, I ain't got nothing for you, yo.
Hey, first of all, did you see how shook Dax was when he was like, "You being moved"? He was like, "What you mean I'm being moved?" No, man. No. I'm supposed to be. And they said, "Welcome to Gen Pop."
No, the funny part, he was like, "Hey, step behind that line."
Yeah.
Go ahead. One more step. Boom. Clunk. Welcome to Gen Pop. I was like, damn.
It had his hands bound. That's the crazy. Them dudes was looking at him like a Christian being fed at the Lions Den, yo, for real.
Bro, he said like, welcome Agent Poindexter.
Yo, they had that them inmates, Jim Pop, ready to got a hold, and you can tell that they gave him some work or whatever,
a little bit
of work in there, whatever. But and you know he and you know what? This whole episode was about motherfuckers being bold. Excuse my language, man.
Nah, but you're right.
Do you know how bold it is to contact and say, "Hey, I want you to represent me, even though I killed your best friend, bro. It helped me get out. And I want to have a one-on-one meeting." That is some bold nonsense. Rashad, that'd be like, heaven forbid, somebody kills you or something like that, or kill me. And then that person be like, "You mind doing a podcast with me, bro, about movies?" What? Man, I'm gonna be locked up right beside that motherfucker.
Bro, that's yeah. Let me hey man, you trying to be friends?
Trying to be friends or whatever.
I go out get something to eat. Talk about it. Nah, like Dex was wild for that. And I just like the whole setup too. And also shout out to Benson and Moorhead.
Mm-hmm.
There were some scenes in this and some shots that they did in this, and they also played with colors a lot. Played with a lot with color blue and red for Dex and Daredevil. And
when they blended, you saw the purple.
There's a shot in the jail when Matt bashes this man's head on the table. Said, "Guard, come in." He said, "Guard, come in." He hit his head on the table. I was like, "Yo, Matt dirty as hell, yo."
Hey, man, he just started bashing his head on the table. Dude was like, "You free, you weirdo." He was like, ah.
So, and then like right behind him, like the light pouring in from outside, and like him, it's like there was some great cinematography going on this episode when he meaning Bullseye was knocked his tooth out.
Yo,
right?
Do you know how crazy? Do you know how crazy that is, man?
Daredevil smashed his man face so hard that he knocked out an incisor.
Yeah, he loosened it up enough for my man to be getting stitched up talking about something. And do you heard it go? And then he was like, "All right, you ready to go back?" He was like, "Nope." He gave it a hop to it. And he spit that. He got out. Yo, he spit. Spit on that thing.
Spit on that thing.
He damn spit that tooth in that man's eye. And the funny part was I had to go back and rewind and listen to the guy. Oh my God.
Yeah. He was just a good acting. It was funny.
Oh, He spit his tooth in that man's eye and blinded him, and then did what Bullseye do. Just, took some scissors, broke them in
One holds
half.
together. I was
That
like,
was-
this is about to be quick work.
Yeah, right. I said, well, there goes that or whatever. And, he takes the cop's clothes or takes some cop clothes or whatever, and
Makes
he's
his
out
way
on the
of
run.
prison.
He gets his way out of prison, so.
Like that part for me was really, it just was so like, we back, yo. Like that, like I think the show as a whole was kind of missing Bullseye, because Bullseye is like, he's so unpredictable, and that kind of element we thought we was gonna get with Muse, but they kind of like, they wrapped that up really fast.
They put the kibosh on that real quick. So let me ask you, how surprised are you that Bullseye is back in the scene?
How can I put this? I'm not surprised, but I'm happy. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm not really surprised, because I had a feeling that he was going to pop out soon or later. I kind of thought that he was going to pop up season 2.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But having him pop out now, really, okay. So this really solidifies the Punisher. Not the Punisher. This really solidifies Kingpin's fight against the vigilantes and the anti-vigilante task force being a major player in season 2 as well, because that's what they're building on. I've seen a lot of people today, like I did a thread, and like people responding to it, and people were like trying to say like, wonder why Kingpin is selling this, like why are we, protecting Kingpin. I'm like, Kingpin is going to be the main thread throughout the whole thing.
Right.
Like even if they get the rights squared away and we get Kingpin and Spider-Man 4 or whatever, which I think they can reasonably do.
Yeah, because I did not know that, just for some people that don't know, I didn't know that for whatever reason Kingpin can't be in the MCU
because
movie.
Kingpin is a Spider-Man.
Right.
So Daredevil was in a Spider-Man movie. So that does not really, it's not a one-to-one thing. Yeah. So that's what
it's a muddy water type thing.
Yeah. Like I think they can figure it out. Like if Dustin Daniel Cretton and the writer behind that really want to have like a be smart, because you're gonna be in New York, so you might as well, and you're a vigilante, so it will make sense. Anyway,
and they mentioned Spider-Man. He was like, dressing like spiders in the first episode. So, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. The mouse gets what the mouse wants. It's going to happen
every time. House wins. So I think that Kingpin and the anti-vigilante task force are really going to be like, what's a good parallel to them? Good parallel to them to now is like, it's like Ice. And they're going to be full-fledged Ice in season 2. I think even more so because they're filming now. So the parallels right there is going to be stopping Fisk, just like BB said in the paper, which was a great line. Yeah. Didn't we say that?
I think we did.
Like we did. You know what I'm saying? And then and we already see that they're just have no laws with the commissioner. You know what I'm saying? They put that man hand in the fryer, said you won't be touching nothing.
He told that man, he says, I'm going to fix it where you're going to have a hard time wiping yourself for the rest of your life. And then the commissioner was like, hey, yo, what the hell is you doing back here? This and that. And once again, emboldened. This episode is all about being bold in the unmitigated gall. Do you know how emboldened you are to still be a police officer, even though you're on a special task force, and tell the police commissioner, you ain't got no jurisdiction over me, cuz I do what I want. And then in front of him, take that man's hand and dip it in hot grease.
They deep fried your man's hand.
Fries are, bing, fries are ready. That's what he gets. Yo. And then the commissioner sitting there looking like, Yep. That's my cue. Like,
I gotta get
that's
out
my
of
cue.
here.
It's like Fizz has his own little mini, not gonna say army because it's not big enough, but his own little militia. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, like I said, it's ICE, it's a Gestapo, it's
Yeah.
like,
Gestapo.
whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
definitely them. But
Yo, that is just and then they were the security
exactly, like they're
little
gonna try to
black
be
and
there in plain clothes. I know these dudes.
yeah,
Y'all the
the black and
Gestapo. Yeah.
white party. Let's talk about something real quick.
Okay.
So we talked about how we'll get to the big thing with Matt and whatever. We already told y'all he got popped. But once again, what I do like this show does is they do every time it seems like every episode gives you a dichotomy between Fisk and Matt. You see
Definitely.
in the first in the beginning of the episode, Fisk has Vanessa. He has Vanessa there, and he's out at the pier, and he's talking to Vanessa. He's like, "Look here, blah blah blah,", blah. And they're talking and they're having a conversation, and that's during the same time they're interchanging with Matt having his conversation with Heather or whatever. But in the process, Fisk finally want to say have a heart, but not really have. He wants to come clean. So,
In
he
his own
wants to
special
come.
way.
Yeah, he wants to come clean in his own special way. And we finally see where his lair is. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we never knew where the lair, because at one point it seemed like the lair was at his apartment, his house, his condo, whatever. So he leads her down the steps. I said, is he taking her to see? And he does. He's like, um, I didn't kill him. I mean, technically, he didn't kill him, and he's like, and he's like starting to like crash out. He starts doing a little his hand thing or whatever. He's like, it's just the thought of his hands, and he never saw Vanessa and what's the Adam, I think is his name or something like that, have relations, but in his mind he sees it happening. You know what I picture him doing? For my black people that's seen this, and some of you others who have, the movie The Best Man with Morris Chestnut and Tay Diggs. Remember Morris Chestnut was up after everything went down. He was up there saying his vows, and he started picturing like saying Tay Diggs clapping his fiance's cheeks or whatever. I bet you that's what be going on, and he was snapping, and then he basically was like, "Hey, I'll do with him whatever you want." Basically, he tells Vanessa that. Vanessa takes the gun and said, "Up, loose end, pop, 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 pop." And that last gunshot to the head was really unnecessary, but it was really unnecessary. And he shot it. And boy, when that happened, I think Wilson got a little chubby, boy, because he was like, "Oh, I got my woman back," or whatever. Because she was talking, she was like, "I applaud you for what you've been doing and stuff." She was really stroking his ego in that whole thing, and he was like, "Vanessa,
Tell me.
everything." Huh?
You know the funny part wasn't that?
What's that?
Adam was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry."
Yeah,
Hey, look.
I ain't know.
Hey man, I just walk away. I won't say nothing.
Yeah, hey man, I walk away. You think if you let me go, I'm gonna go around telling people? Yeah, I clapped Kingpin's wife.
Oh,
You think I would tell people this? You let me go? He was
he's like, shut
begging.
up.
Shut up. He was begging, man. And Vanessa was the one that, popped him. And like after that happened, Fisk is like feeling himself. He go back to the office. Old girl's like, "Hey, we got meetings to go to." He's like, "Nah, I'm not doing that kissing baby trash."
He said, "Hey
or whatever.
man,
This is
it's a celebration.
It's a celebration. It's a celebration. We celebrate what we doing, blah, 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 blah. And then you got little, Michael Gandolfini. Yeah. And then he's like, "You know what I want to do? I think you're the future, baby. I'm going to make you deputy mayor of communication. I said, oh Lord, have mercy. He done gave this, he done gave this little white boy some power. This dude that is worshipped the ground. You saw the lady look like,
She said, "Hey, are you sure him?" Like,
yeah, yeah. Yo, my man said, I walked through fire for you, Mister
so
Mister Fit.
I know, I know.
I know. Yeah, right. He was like, I get it, kid. Just
Get off
do
my
that.
balls. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Please, the glazing is a little. That's only for Vanessa. She's the only one I can do. It's only for Vanessa. He's the only glazer in my life that I need, even if she's not glazing. She's glazing. So he's get hyped this dude up. In the same time, Matt is snapping at the apartment because old girl's like, oh, because remember the door knock. He opened the door and it was Buck,
Looks
and
like,
he was like,
hey.
"Yo, what the hell are you doing here?" But he was like, "What do you want?" He was like, "Oh, this is for Miss Heather, Dr. Heather." He was like, "Uh-huh," and he was like, "Wait a minute, how you know where she was at? Because was that Matt's house? Or that was Matt's house apartment or whatever?" And she was like, And then he was like, "Yo," he wanted to tell her so bad, "I'm Daredevil, this and that," and she was just on this. Oh, he invited us to a black tie. He was like, "You go by yourself. I ain't going." She says, "A guest." And he was like, "Fine."
No, no. The funny
I'll.
part was she was like, he's like, hold on, hold on. Is Wilson Fisk? Are the Fisks your clients?
Yeah,
He's like, I can never tell. He's like, look, yo, for real. Do you even know who that is?
yeah.
So young people is
That's the thing that's
dangerous.
getting. That's the thing that's getting me. It's like, lady, like it is known fact that yes, he's the mayor, but the thing got to pass. Like,
A very recent past.
yeah, a very recent past. Like, it's known that this man has a past. Like, why you acting willy nilly with this? Like, oh, it's
She way too excited. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah. So anyway,
yeah.
I I, I want to get to the most interesting part of this for me.
Which part is that?
The party scene. But like, I'm just gonna go quickly over the party scene. So the funnier parts is
Uh-huh.
when Heather gets there, Heather and Vanessa like they link up, and she
Mm-hmm.
said, "Hey, appreciate all your help. You know what I'm saying? You've been a blessing
Mm-hmm.
to us, for me and my family." And she said, "Hey, you gonna come out of therapy?" She was like, I think all of our past sins have been laid to rest."
So she thinks.
I was like, yo, that is a funny double entendre. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you talking
Mm-hmm.
about Adam, you know what I'm saying? But
And yeah, like
nah,
I killed Adam. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, he.
little Shindo. Buck
Mm-hmm.
can come in there later on and say, hey, we got a
Um,
small problem.
we got a small problem. Also, I love at this party how Fisk uses this party as like a celebration, but getting all the top money makers
Oh, the
back
elite
in.
people in New York. Yep.
Elite. So remember,
I'm
Rashad,
about
I
to say
think
it's,
I
it's,
think this went over some people's head
it's the reverse of the other party.
when we first see my man. That's the swordsman. I can't think of his real name, but I know him as the swordsman.
Jack
He
Duquesne.
Jack Duquesne. He was talking to that one chick.
Yeah.
And remember how nervous and frazzled she was
Hmm.
about. And he was like, "Yo," and she was like, yeah." He was like, It started talking about Fisk. She just started fidgeting and stuff. And you were like, "What the hell is wrong with what the hell is wrong with her?" And then you see Wilson talk to Jack Duquesne. He was like, "Let's go in my office and talk." Before we even go any further, shout out to Wilson. Wilson was clean as hell but that all white. He was clean as hell in that all white suit and everything. So he's talking to Jack back then, and he was like, and Jack Kane was like, "Hey, you know what? I apologize for being real abrupt with you about your, what I'm saying, your, revitalization of Red Hook in the pier section." And he was like, "Yeah, it's all right, blah 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 blah, cool, this and that." And then once again the boldness, King Fist. Yeah, so you know, doing this, I'm gonna have to use funds from you, and then I would charitable funds from other people outside. And he was like,
Private donors. You know what I'm
private
saying?
donors. How much can I expect from you? He was like, Jack said, Whoa, whoa. I ain't say I'm donating Jack, yo. I just said I understand what you're doing. I can appreciate that. Cool. And then he was like, I understand what you're saying, but I would hate for a situation, with my war against vigilantism and, a certain individual, that is a swordsman as yourself. And he was like, and Jack was like, oh, you mother, no, you not trying to blackmail me. And you know what? I give it to Jack. Jack ain't no punk.
No,
He
he ain't.
rose up and was like, I don't know what you're talking about, my guy. Basically, like, my name Bennett and I ain't in it. I don't know what you're talking about. And then apparently they talked some more, and because they left the room, and you saw Jack had look at his face like, I gotta get this nigga some money. Whatever. And all he kept doing was bringing more people into that room.
Oh, yo,
And
Mike.
then you see Michael Gandolfini, he beats up with BB, and BB is pissed at him because she's like, yo, you strong on me, my boy. What we he's like, hey, look, man, look at where we at. Yo, I'm now a deputy mayor, this and that, blah, blah. And then he was glazing like, yo, do you know what it would be like to be in that room with him, the deals that are being made and all
That's
that.
power.
It's power. That's real power. And she was like, oh, okay. They're like, hey, let's do shots. I feel like she was like, I'm gonna get this mofo drunk again and get him to spill all the beans or whatever. So yeah, so that party was a twofold thing. Was it a celebration thing? Yeah, but it was also to get NYC's elite up
It
in
was a,
there
it
and to
was
let them
a,
know that he got, and look, I got shit on all y'all, and y'all gonna give me this money, or it is what it is. You know
it
what I'm
was a,
saying?
it was a shakedown, and this was
Mm-hmm.
also payback from the party he went to at the beginning of the season when they made
Mm-hmm.
him look like a little hoe. And he was out
Mm-hmm.
here, twiddling his fingers, trying to stay calm. And now,
Yeah.
fully in his element. Also, want to talk about use of colors. You
Mm-hmm.
alluded to earlier when they entered in the room like they were newlyweds, and the vault came open.
Yeah.
Dope scene. Vanessa is in full red,
Mm-hmm.
Kingpin in full white.
Mm-hmm.
Any other time we saw Vanessa earlier, she was in
Mm-hmm.
green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Red obviously means that she's the villain. Okay. Green before means like green. I looked it up because I didn't know. I said, what does green represent? It also
Yeah.
represents fertility, yeah, but it also can
Uh-huh.
represent like somebody who is essentially like up to no good. That also
Ah,
represents the green. So,
okay.
which,
Low
yeah,
key.
exactly. So,
Mm-hmm.
up until that point, we knew like she was not really like, she wanted to be
Mm-hmm.
still underground with everything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now this is their public presentation that Kingpin is represents like this fake veil of purity, and
Angel. Mm-hmm.
she
The demon.
is the Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I realized after this episode. I said, "Oh, Vanessa's Kingpin this season,"
Mm-hmm.
because she called a hit
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning of the season. She's been
Mm-hmm.
calling all the shots.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you see they put their hit on Luca.
Mm-hmm.
She killed Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's still running everything like Kingpin was prior to, but now she gets to
Mm-hmm.
do it in public because Kingpin is the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
She's Kingpin.
Yeah. And I love the fact that, also in that whole scene, and this is going to tie in with her. Matt was doing some stereotypical man stuff where he got there. She was like, I'm talking to you, blah, 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 his girl. And she talking, talking, talking. And he listened to the Kingpin. And she
Yo,
said, are you even listening to me?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard. What's the
What did
last
I
thing I
say?
said? And my man went back to listen to the Kingpin talking to the people and stuff. And and then Rashad. So what was I'm trying to remember. I just finished watching it. I forgot that quick. What was the point when he realized that she was the one who called the hit? Because flashback, not a flashback, but let's go about three scenes earlier. Matt goes to the office,
His
the law
office.
firm, his
Yeah.
office, and his partner, I forget her name right now, is she's like, hey, we need to get some clients and stuff like that back or whatever. Because I this is something like some assets were frozen or not or something like that, Rashad, or something with some money. Something with some money is acting kind of funny.
Yeah.
And so they're meeting this guy, and Matt's like, I don't want to meet with this dude or whatever, because we know what type of person he is. And she's like, well, we got to do it anyway. And he's listening, he realizes this guy's lying. And he leaves, and he basically calls the dude on his BS. Was like, "We're not going to defend you, knowing that you're lying. That's against the law and stuff like that." She's like, "Hey, what's wrong with you?" She was like, "You can do it if you want, whatever." And he's just having his moral compass battle with himself. He goes back to the old neighborhood, and he's standing out in front of Josie's. And then what happened? Josie sticks her head out. Hey Matt, you just gonna sit out there like a lump on a log, or you gonna come on up in here or whatever? And so they're having a conversation, and then Cherry pops up in there. He's like, "Man, what you doing here, Cherry?" He was like, "Hey, she told me to keep an eye on you, bro. So you good? You've been acting weird." He's like, "Yeah, whatever." And then Josie comes out and said, "Hey, let's celebrate." And she pulls out the whiskey bottle of Old Melvin. And then she was like, "Yeah, this was the last drink that Foggy had on that night." And Matt stopped and said, "No, no, 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 wait, 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 wait. There's no way he was having that drink on that night." And she's like, "Yeah, no." She's like, "Yo, I know my customers." And a good bartender, Rashad, knows their customers. She's like, "No, that's what he was drinking." And she was like, and then he was like, "No, he only drinks that as, a victory, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
after a victory on a case or whatever." And she was like, a victory on a case. And she was like, "Well, no, this is what he drank." And then he was like, "Wait a minute. He did have a case the next day." And then he was like, "Hold on. He knew he was
He
going to
was
win this
celebrating.
case. He
Yeah.
was celebrate pre-celebration because he knew he was going to win this case." And that's when he was talking to the young lady that's the district attorney who's Matt's partner now. At first, I was like, is he trying to say that she is like kind of working with King? Like I was starting to think at first that she knew everything was going on and she was like an undercover with Kingpin. But then I said, no, it's not that. It's, what I'm saying, this situation. And that's when he realized, yo, that was a hit on Foggy or whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, what does he do? He points the finger at the person that he hates the most, and that probably has something to do with that. But at that party, Rashad, what was the point when he realized, yo, it ain't him, it's her ass?
When they were dancing.
Okay.
So I feel like right around then, I feel like he had some inclination
Uh-huh.
because at the time, Kingpin wasn't doing nothing dirty.
Mm-hmm.
He was really like living above the fray, trying to
Mm-hmm.
be the mayor or trying to
Mm-hmm.
his run up to his mayoral, what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
um, the election. So
Mm-hmm.
when they're dancing, he's like, doing his Daredevil stuff. He's listening and watching.
I realize it now. I know when it happened. When Buck came to Kingpin to tell him that
But yeah, yeah.
Bullseye, he's like, "Hey yo, Bullseye is out. We got to be careful." I told all the guards they're on alert, and that's when you saw her go, "Oh, I got something I need to tell you." And he was listening because I thought it was so dope. That scene was dope as well because Kingpin is dancing and he's talking low enough where Vanessa hears her because she's like, "What?" Because she knows Kingpin knows that Matt can hear him. And Matt is like, "You mother, are you testing me?" Because Matt is like really about to crash out
Yeah,
at
because
the
he
party.
hot. He's
He,
hot.
he he's so hot about because even when he left Josie's bar, he didn't even put his walking stick down. He just grabbed it and folded and walked away. And she said, he's not using his walking stick. And Sharon said, "I didn't see that," or whatever. So he goes over, and then that's when he realizes, oh snap, it's her. And they do a whole switcheroo dancing. And he tells her, like, "Yo, what are you doing?" Blah, blah. And like once again, always a scene with Kingpin and Matt when they're with their women, the dichotomy. You know what I'm saying? The one end of the
Hmm.
spectrum. Kingpin is like he's about to tell Heather, "Hey, you know who your man is?
Yeah.
Your man is the devil of Hell's Kitchen. He's about to tell her that. And at the same time, Matt is telling um Vanessa, like, yo, I know it's you. Blah 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 blah. I can't, like, what's good? He was out of town doing good. That's what he even said. Like, he was out of town doing his thing. No, it was all you type situation. And what's going on while that happens, Rashad?
Bullseye pops up. Hey, he came in the party, elevator to the second floor,
Mm-hmm.
had the AR posted on the speaker, just being Bullseye, man. And like, in the cool, okay. And Matt is like, head is on a swivel because he knows, like, yo, like, Bullseye's gonna show up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking around, he's listening, and he hears the cock of the gun. So he's like, shoot, who is he gonna shoot? Because he's still dancing with Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hears a bullet go off, and then he messes around, pushes her, and jumps in front of Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
And again, goes back to the beginning when Dex told him, you know what I'm saying, you supposed to be protecting your worst enemy, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what a good man does. So he actually is a good man, Savannah, and he got shot as retribution, essentially, for all his sins this season. Because, you know, like, he pushed Dex off the roof, and he's been fighting that demon the entire time. So this feels like him. It's like this wound, even though it's not gonna be mortal. This wound is like almost retribution, or recompense for you know, his struggles. And I feel like now he can really be he can fully be Daredevil, and not have no qualms about, you know, breaking some necks. And of course, he's on the floor. This is an amazing shot where he's upside down and it's all red.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Heather's by his side. It's just, again, dope cinematography.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bullseye dips, fade to black. Like,
Yeah.
an amazing episode, yo. Like,
Yeah.
amazing episode of television.
And here's the thing. What did we say last week, Rashad? We was like, yo, these next two episodes have to cook in order
Definitely
for us,
said that.
in order for us to really feel like this season wasn't not necessarily a flop, but a letdown, considering we were expecting, and like, and once again, people want to say we hate to expect, but they made it seem like Muse was going to be this big character that we needed to keep an eye on or whatnot. And for them to take him out after what, 7 episodes? Take him out after 8 episodes, excuse me. And he was only in
had like
three,
maybe 20 minutes of screen time.
20 minutes, yeah. Between 3 episodes, 20 minutes of screen time and this. So now we're sitting here looking at, yo, what's going to happen now? Maybe, Rashad, this is when, you know what I'm saying, we see that scene that we talked about, that we thought we saw in one of the trailers of I Need You to Be the Devil.
Sounds like a logical conclusion. Yeah, because he's gonna need somebody to get to kill.
Yeah.
To kill or get Bullseye back in jail. That is very true. Very true. Because people have been trying to say, like, yo, like, what if Daredevil fake his death? I said, look, y'all can't have Daredevil faking his death and also maybe Foggy faking his death. We y'all trying to go back to the comics. I said, look, somebody got to be dead, and you know when they're gonna be Daredevil. So I could see Matt, you know what I'm saying, losing a little bit of blood, going to the hospital, taking a bullet out, getting patched up, and getting back active, because that's what he does. And if that does happen, if they do, so opening scene next episode, they parlay back at the deli, and you know what I'm saying, Matt's in a sling, and they had a conversation. Like, I can easily see that happening.
Yeah.
And Kingpin with Daredevil and the Vigilante Task Force basically having to do some sort of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend
My
type
friend.
team up and try to go and actually find Bullseye because Bullseye is going to be killing everything. And
Yeah.
that's and it also puts a. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I also love how they're not making it easy for Kingpin to be mayor.
Yeah.
Every
They
time you
giving that.
think he's doing good, it's always
Mhm.
one step forward, two steps back.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Real quick too, before we get out of here, BB Urich is not stupid. She know
Yes.
what's going on, and
Hmm.
she is here to take that man down from the inside, and I appreciate that.
And I'm glad that that is what it is. Because at first I was like, yo, don't have this girl be clueless. And then all of a sudden she finds out, like, some stupid way that Fisk was behind. No, she knew the whole time because she saw, what was it, Rashad? She saw the commissioner after being punked by the task force is leaving. And she's out there talking with, Gandolfini. And is like, hey, and she's like, hey, I'm gonna go powder. I'll come back and dance with you. And she makes her way and is like, hey, commissioner, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And then he was like, and then they're talking, and then the commissioner basically is like, that he was like, Fisk was like a number one suspect in the murder of your uncle. And she looked at him and said, why do you think I'm here?
Duh.
Duh. And you see like kind of an alliance starting where she's like, here's my thing, email me so we
She
can
said,
talk.
"Look, yo, I got a pseudonym too. Like
Yeah.
I just ain't out here writing everything in my name."
Yeah, yeah, right. So she's writing I wonder who else she's writing under as, you know what I'm saying, as another handle. And then he was like, yeah, I got files, dirty files on all these guys on this task force.
It felt like Denzel training. I got cases on all
I
you
got cases,
bitches.
all you mama lockdown, Pelican Bay, whatever. And
Shoe
so
program.
shoe program. And so she told and like and he was like, cool, yeah. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and say this now before
All right.
next week's finale. Something I think is gonna end up happening.
What's that?
I don't think we've seen the last of Frank Castle here. And I wouldn't be surprised if somehow, some way, BB kind of becomes the new what's girl name that was part of the Foggy and them crew. Foggy,
You talking about Karen?
Karen, yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised somehow. I wouldn't be surprised, or I would like for this to happen. For the Punisher finds out about this task force, and he ends up going on a hunt trying to take every last one of these mofos out
I'm telling you,
because they under
that's
his
gonna
name.
be that's. I feel like that may be
Season two,
his. Nah, not
or
even
his,
that.
or his season when they come out with the Punisher.
Yeah, his own special presentation. But
Yeah.
yeah, yo, like great episode, man.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for the finale.
Mm-hmm.
Looking on the up and up. Again, shout out to Benson and Moorhead
More.
and
Mm-hmm.
who's the writers? Scardapine. Hold on, it's on my phone.
Jesse
Jesse
Woodgo and
Wigato.
Dario Scarred Pain.
Scartapane.
Pain. Yeah, Scarred Pain.
Panani. I don't know.
Panani.
Panani.
Sorry.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. Did not mean to say Panani, sir. Anyway, that's it for this, man. We'll be back. Shit, we'll be back one day.
All right,
We'll
y'all.
be back one day.
Let me let y'all know something right now. Your boys are about to start cooking. All right. We
With The
gonna
Last of Us, man.
The Last of Us season 2 starts Sunday.
Yeah, if you're
We
on YouTube, make sure you are locked into the Upon Further Review like actual podcast. I know this is a whole family, but like that's the podcast because in YouTube Music they get to separate all of them out. So the Upon Further Review. Make sure you're locked into us. The Last of Us. Can't wait. Next Wednesday finale. And next weekend or so, weekend after, Andor, and also Sinners. So yeah, we got some content coming your way with all this good stuff coming out. But nah.
And before we go, Rashad, anything else you're watching you want to give a shout out to or anything like that?
The Righteous Gemstones.
Okay.
Like
Um,
it's just I need something funny to watch, and it's hilarious.
yeah. For me, I just finished up White Lotus season 3.
I heard nobody likes the finale.
Um, some stuff was predictable, but I thought it was cool. I
Yeah,
thought the season as
I saw a lot of backlash by that finale, boy.
I mean, I think some stuff was predictable, but I it was cool for what it was for me or whatever. I'm watching, since I finished that also too with me because man, I'm about to TV to death. Uh, on April 8th, Hulu dropped the final season of Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, yeah,
So I haven't even started watching it, and all of the episodes are out from what I can see. So I'm gonna try to get some of that in, along with, like I said, saying The Last of Us. I cannot wait for that. And like I said, the next movie is Sin. I cannot wait for Sinners. It's so much stuff I done heard.
Oh yeah, I ain't hear
And
nothing. I've been avoiding all the
yeah,
things. I'm even
I sent
avoiding the
Rashad
interview.
something that somebody said. Rashad said,
Don't want to
not
see.
listening,
Don't
don't
even
want to
care.
see.
Don't care about
Those
the
are,
early
I'm
review.
gonna tell you
Hold on.
something. Rashad is holding it down because he didn't even see the Superman.
Nah, I ain't see the 4 minute teaser. I'm not.
Hey,
I don't need to see extended Crimson
hey.
Dog footage. Here we go.
Hmm.
So, oh, you almost forgot. Got to get back up because we're gonna do our Last of Us like little refresher, probably
Hmm.
like Friday.
Yeah, okay.
Then after that, we're gonna get back and we got to do our refresher for um Andor as well.
Uh-huh.
So you guys can just talk about that, get caught
Hmm.
up, and then we'll be good to go. Yeah.
And I will let you guys know already ahead of time. I had to just look at my calendar and see. Second episode of The Last of Us that comes out, I will not be on that episode. Let you know that, Rashad, because I will be on my way back from Vegas with WrestleMania.
Nah, it's
So I
all
will
good,
not
man.
be on that. Just give you a heads up right there
Thank you.
live. I won't be on that episode or whatever.
Nah,
So I'm
all
move
good,
or
man.
whatever.
But yeah, we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.